This week's Torah portion is Lech Lecha. It's the third portion in the book of Genesis. The first portion we read about the creation of the world. The second portion we read about the destruction of the world through the flood, and Noah and his wife and all the animals and the family that he takes onto the ark. They survive. Post Noah, post the ark, we read about the Tower of Babel and how the people came together with one language to build a tower to go up into the heavens, to replace God, so to speak. And these are values that take a person away from the world. This pursuit of honor that the Tower of Babel people exhibited. The people of the generation of the flood were filled with lust and desires that they didn't have any boundaries. They just pursued whatever it is they want. They were thieves. They did a lot of robbery, and the world was destroyed because of unbridled lust. And then previously we read the story of Cain and Abel, where there's jealousy involved. These are values that take us out of the world. And now we're going to start the story of Avram Avinu, Avram and Sarai, who we read about in this week's Torah portion. They're 10 generations from Noah. Noah and Avraham overlap, I believe, for 58 years. And Avraham is beginning a journey that his father started. Last week's Torah portion, we read about the father of Avram, Terach, who leaves his home. He leaves Ur of Chaldees. He leaves there and he goes to Haran, and in Haran he dies. And this week's Torah portion, Avram hears the call from God to leave, to go from the land, from the birthplace, from your parental home, to move into an unfamiliar place. Go to a place where I will show you. Doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know what to expect. And this is considered to be one of the 10 major challenges and struggles that Avram has to go through. And in the struggle and in the challenge, the potential of who you can be can come out. We learn who we are. We grow through challenges. We don't ask for challenges, but when we have challenges and we face them and we work with them and we bring parts of ourselves out of ourselves that we didn't know were there, we become hopefully better and greater people. And Abraham and Sarai are people that set down the spiritual DNA which we inherit. So these are our forefathers and foremothers. And Avram is known as a person who embodies kindness. So we're going to start the new world post Noah, post the flood, post the Tower of Babel. We're going to go 10 generations to Avram, who's going to be kind. He's going to embody the attribute of kindness. And that's the beginning. That's the foundation of the world, is kindness. So we have to learn how to be kind. We're going to learn how to journey through life. So Abraham is asked by God to journey, to go from a familiar to an unfamiliar place. And in that unfamiliarity, he's going to learn about himself. He's going to grow. He's going to share who he is. And Rabbi Sachs speaks about this journey in 4 different ways. He says there's a journey for yourself, where there's a journey where you grow, where you benefit from the journey you're on. You improve yourself. You believe in yourself, in what you can become. So there's a journey where we go for ourselves, because in this journey, we're going to create ourselves. We're going to become better people. So we're doing it for ourselves, number 1. Number 2, says Rabbi Sachs, you're going to go with yourself. You're going to take the things you know. You're going to take your belief system. You're going to take your faith. You're going to take your way of life, and you're going to spread it around. You're going to teach it to other people. You're going to connect to other people and share the wealth. Noah kept it to himself. Avram shares it. And that's something that we need to learn about. We need to learn about how to share. And Avram and Sarah, when they leave Haran, it says they take the souls of all the people that they have created. What does that mean? It means all the people that they've taught the truth to, all the people that they have shown that there's one God, that God is kind, that God is good, that God is involved in the world, that God is creator, God is sustainer, etc., etc. This is the truth and the way of life that Avram and Sarah embody and teach and spread out. And it says in the Medrash that it's like perfume. It's like a scent. If you open up the bottle of scent and it smells so beautiful and everybody wants in, because it's it resonates and it's beautiful, and we want to be part of that. So Avram and Sarah, they take with them this belief system, this value system, this truth that they understand, and they share it with other people. They are being called upon to spread the truth, and that's what sets them apart from people before them, is this capacity to go out and to share it, and to have a relationship with God that they want other people to become, to have also. So we have going for yourself, we have in going with yourself, and the third suggestion of Rabbi Sachs is that we go to ourselves, that we understand that we're a soul inside of a body, that we have this divine soul, that's the root of who we are, is this soul that's in this world, is on a journey. The Lubavitcher Rebbe says that the whole story of a journey can also be applied to the journey of the soul. The soul starts up in the higher realms, and it's in its home, so to speak, and then it's brought against its will into this world, and it journeys in this world. It has to somehow influence the world, try to influence the world, and then at the end it moves on back up into the upper realms. But the journey is us in this world, yes, but it's also, said the Lubavitcher Rebbe, it's the journey of the soul. The soul is coming out from one place, going through this world and back up. So there's a journey of the soul as much as there's the journey of each one of us. So the journey of going to yourself, knowing who it is that you're on the inside. In this week's Torah portion, God says to Abraham, your descendants are going to be like the stars in the sky. In the night sky, the stars shine. And your descendants are going to be like the stars. Each one has a name. Each one emits its own unique light. So too, each Jewish person is going to be a light that's going to shine uniquely and brightly out into the darkness of the world. And so too, we are that light, to think about ourselves as that light. Also, God tells Abraham that his descendants are going to be like sand on the seashore, like dust of the earth. It's going to be so numerous. It's going to be that we're going to be like the sand on the seashore, meaning that each grain of sand is part of something much bigger than itself. We're going to be part of something much bigger than ourselves. How amazing is that? To think that on the one hand, we're these individual, unique, shining stars, but we're also part of something much bigger than ourselves, something that transcends the individual, that's bigger than the individual, part of something much bigger. And God takes Avram outside and he says, look above the stars, because you, the Jewish people, are not going to be ruled by the stars. You're not going to be ruled by the stars. Your destiny of the Jewish people is beyond nature. The fact that we still exist is testament to that truth, that we shouldn't by all natural standards still exist, yet we do. Why? Because God's sustaining us. God gave us a promise that we would live beyond, above nature. We wouldn't be ruled by the forces of nature. So here we are still, the Jewish people, with a mission in the world, to be the light unto the nation, to bring the knowledge of God into the world, to do good and be good, and to be like perfume that's spreading this truth around, understanding that we're a soul in a body, and knowing that that's who we are, and not be distracted by the outside world. And finally, says Rabbi Sachs, we're going to go by ourselves. We're alone. We're counterculture. We're trailblazers. The Jewish people haven't always agreed with the outside world, the values of the outside world. We have values that come from God, that come from the Torah. And these are values that we bring into the world, that we're going to stand apart. We're not going to be always in line with what the prevailing cultures, and we have to be able to do that, to be alone, to be separate, to be unique, to be other. And Avram and Sarah start off their journey and they're other. And so too, we, many generations later, are still other. We're still living this other existence than the people around us. We have to stand firm to our tradition, to what it is that we bring to the world. So just to wrap this up, Rabbi Sachs gives us this idea, this way of looking at what it means to leave your birthplace, your land, and your parental home, to go from a place of familiarity to a place of unfamiliarity, to be tested, to be challenged, to go for ourselves, because we'll benefit benefit. We can grow. We can become more of what we can be. We can go with our value systems and spread those out into the world like the stars, like the scent out of a perfume bottle. We can go inside and know that we're this holy soul and like really kind of resonate with that and not compare ourselves to other people but to ourselves. And we can go alone. We're a Jewish people who stands alone, stands on the other side. We're different, we're separate, we're unique. We have our own way of doing things, our own way of thinking, our own value system that is sometimes in concert with the outside world and sometimes it isn't. But this is the journey that Avram and Sarah started, and it's the journey that we continue till this very day. It's the journey of our soul. It's the journey of the Jewish people. It's the journey of each one of us that we go through life that's filled with trials and tribulations and challenges and struggles. And yet through all of that, we have the courage to be different. We have the courage to challenge the age that we live in, to see our lives as meaningful, to care for people who can't care for themselves, to strive for peace, to educate ourselves and learn more, to know what it is to give, to have this calling from the outside to say that we have a role to bring the name and the goodness of God into the world. And that we do it by shining light, we do it by spreading perfume, and by going outside our comfort zones and being challenged. And we don't bring challenges on, but when we are challenged, we can see them as opportunities for growth.